first time in 10 years of feeling this normal in my skin. Today, I'm going to share with you my three-month update of being on the drug Dupixent and how it has impacted me so that you can be informed and know if this is the drug of choice for you. And just tell you about a little scare that I had. Are you one of the few? Well, this is the channel for you. My name is Victoria, and on this channel, I discuss all things eczema, skincare, life. I mean, mostly eczema, but this is your place. Today, I'm going to talk to you about what it's been like. This is my Dupixent update. I have been on it for about 10 to 12 weeks. But I'm going to tell you what it has been like, just in case you have eczema and you kind of want to know what to expect between the 10 and 12 week mark. I actually have a video. I have a video that I will link below that if you are in Canada, that could help you if you're interested in applying for it. Taking my Dupixent shot. This is actually, for the most part, it has gotten easier and easier. The last time I did take my shot, I did find that it kind of burned going in. I don't remember if I alternated sites. So there's a possibility that I injected it on the same side twice. There's another possibility that I didn't let it cool, warm up. I like to take it out of the fridge for 1 hour, but maybe I did it a little less than that. So that could be why, but I felt it go in and I don't like that experience. It slightly burns, I would say, as it goes in. Yeah. I'm going to just go with the word burns, but it's just not the most comfortable experience. I like to show my updates of me actually doing my shot in my shorts. So if you want to check that out, but I mean, I can talk through it. I actually do it live. So it's not like life or death or anything, but I will say that it's not near as bad as what I thought it was going to be. I thought taking Dupixent, shooting myself, injecting myself, I thought it was going to be a nightmare, and it has not been that. So if you're afraid of needles, anticipation is always a liar. Okay, so we can anticipate something is going to be a lot worse or a lot better than it is. Reality usually isn't as bad. So this hasn't been, injecting myself every 2 weeks hasn't been as bad as I thought it would be. You get into the flow of doing it. Set a timer in your phone so that you remember to do it, because as your skin starts to get better, you forget that you need it, and I'm definitely going to be interested as I start to withdraw to see and take notes. I think I'll take 2 more shots at 2-week intervals, and then I'm going to consider doing it 3 weeks apart and see how it goes from there. Like I said, I am not a doctor. Talk to your doctor about any plans you have surrounding how you want to take your medication for Dupixent. So first thing I'm going to tell you about this month is how my itch has been doing. I like to kind of do a scale, and I would say that my itch levels are down to a 3 out of 10. They started at a 10 out of 10, and I'm down to a 3 out of 10. Before Dupixent, I was scratching basically 24/7 all the time. I said it in a different video, but I basically would use any and every object I could find to scratch my skin, and that's just not happening anymore. It feels very weird to not be scratching all the time. However, I do still randomly have itch fits where I might wake up in the middle of the night and just start scratching a lot uncontrollably. But when I wake up in the morning, there's no obvious evidence that I was scratching like a crazy lady. So next thing I'm going to tell you guys about is my nighttime itch, because daytime itch and nighttime itch tend to differ. A lot of the time, if you have eczema in the daytime, maybe your itch won't be so bad, but then at night, that's when things get really started, and that's because our cortisol levels raise during the nighttime, and if you have eczema already, you just naturally have higher cortisol levels. I talk about that in another video, but our cortisol levels tend to be around a 10 out of 10 when you have eczema, just naturally. That's our baseline. We live in stress, and so at night that can go up to a 20 out of 10. So for myself, being on Dupixent, I would say this last couple of weeks, my nighttime itch is down to 1 out of 10. I don't really notice it. As I said, there's the odd time that I might wake up and itchy and then go back to sleep, but it's nothing that keeps me up at night. There were times that I have to get up and get out of my bed and go do something and then come back to bed, and I'd almost feel like I was allergic to my bed. It was the second I got in my bed, I would start itching. That's down to 1 out of 10. It doesn't exist anymore. Dupixent works so well is actually so scary. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you about what almost happened to me, and I didn't know what I was going to do in terms of my... First, let me tell you about my flares. So I do still experience flares in the same places that I have my eczema. So that's on my arms, my wrists, my neck, my eyes, my upper lip. However, those flares are greatly reduced. Like I will notice, like I noticed my pinky was getting like a little bit itchy, and typically that would have been like a real broken, bloody mess, but it was just like a light itch that I could sort of ignore. The reason I knew it was a flare is just because if I scratched it, it would get inflamed. And so there's like different types of itch that I talk about in a different video, but basically there's like those, you know, the surface scratch that's like not a big deal, and then there's the scratch that it like explodes and becomes something like a red and inflamed. I notice I do still get those desires to scratch those places, and they will kind of, I'm sure if I scratch them hard, they would become something, but the Dupixent has brought that like down significantly, so I'm pretty grateful for that. I still notice I have to stay away from my triggers. Like I can't really have nuts. Maybe last week I had some nuts and I noticed like the next day I was much itchier and my eyes kind of inflamed a bit. So just because you're on Dupixent doesn't mean like you just eat whatever you want, right? Unfortunately. All right, so the ultimate side effect of Dupixent they talk about is the eye flares, and that has continued to be somewhat of a problem for me. We're gonna get kind of close here. And you can see that my eyes look a little sad. And you can also see I have like a little bit of redness above my lip. So yeah. I do find that I am getting the inflammation under my eyes. I'm trying different things to sort of mitigate that. Something that I just started using is the Hypochlorous Pristine 1817 spray, because something that happens when you are on Dupixent is that it shuts down interleukin 4 and interleukin 13, which are proteins that are responsible for inflammation. But I did read in a study that while those interleukin blah 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 and blah 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 shut those things down, they also help to fight your eye eczema. So that's why people tend to get more issues with their eyes when they are on Dupixent. So you're more susceptible to like bacteria and fungus and things like, and it attacks the eye area. So that is what enter this baby. Just watch how often you use it. One of the days I also woke up with a bloodshot eye, which I will attach that video. I woke up and yeah, as you can see, my eyes are not doing so hot. You can't really tell, but this eye, oh yeah, maybe it's pretty like bloodshot. Yeah, it's not showing as red as it is in real life, but if it's not one thing, it's another. Not the kind of red eye I want to have, I'll tell you that much. I am getting one red eye with this Dupixent. Yeah, not looking so hot. Yes, Dupixent and my eyes, they need to work it out, man. They need to work it out. Now, I used to read in the forums, people would say like how much those side effects of the eyes were so frustrating, and it kind of deterred me from even wanting to go on Dupixent, because I'm like, oh, I already have like eye problems. Like, why would I want, you know, because prior to Dupixent, I would have a little bit of eye eczema. So I'm like, I don't want anything to make this worse. But now that I'm actually on Dupixent and I'm experiencing normal skin everywhere else, the eye problems, it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. On top of it, I've also grown very confident in my skin and comfortable with the fact that, yeah, maybe under my eyes, I look like I'm 90. No problem. No problem at all. All right, so next thing I'm gonna talk about is my mental health. I think last time I was checking in that I was feeling a little bit crabby. I didn't know if that was a result of my Dupixent. I would say that this month I feel normal. So I'm gonna just throw that out with the baby out with the bathwater. I think that was just that month. I feel like I've been in pretty good mental health. I haven't noticed any differences in how I'm feeling. Something that I am noticing is that I've noticed this twice. This happened last month, but I didn't know for sure if it was related. So it happened again last night, and this is the day that I take my shot. When I go to bed that night, I have extreme cramps. We're gonna see what happens next month. And if you are on Dupixent and you've noticed that, I would love to hear from you if that's something. I haven't seen that really on the internet, but I have noticed 2 times the day of the shot when I go to sleep, I have significant cramps. And I will also say that I sleep like a baby the day that I take the shot. And I'm not mad about that. Like I said, I have qualified for this drug for free. You can go check my video out about how I managed to qualify for it for free. If you're in Ontario, perhaps that could be an option for you. So here's a little story time. They were supposed to deliver this to me last week, and I waited all day for it and it didn't arrive. So I called them and they said that I didn't qualify, or there was like some kind of mixed matchup, and I was terrified, to be honest. And this has been my first time in, like, I want to say my whole life, but that's a bit dramatic. But it's been my first time in 10 years at minimum, maybe 15 years, of feeling this normal in my skin. And so the idea of the drug kind of being ripped away from me really scared me and had me thinking that I cannot just rely on this drug. Like, I can't. Thankfully, it was just a misunderstanding, and they had just moved companies, and the new drug company didn't know how to charge my drug card, and I still qualify, and all is well. But that little scare definitely gave me some food for thought and has me really on the hunt to heal my eczema and at least manage my symptoms even better, because I am going to start to think about when I want to withdraw from this product. As always, I'm not a doctor, so please do not take my advice as a doctor's advice. This is just part of gathering research for an informed decision that you should be making. But of course, always consult your doctor. So for myself, after that little scare, I just felt like what if they just randomly ever said that they're not going to give it to me anymore? Then what? So I thought, you know what? I need to start to do a deeper dive on healing and managing my symptoms. Prior to me going on Dupixent, I was what I felt like I was on my way to healing. I've been off steroids for now, I want to say 12 years. So I'm definitely out of the topical steroid withdrawal part. And this is just me learning to manage my eczema. And I think the next area that I'm going to focus on more, I've done this before, but I've never done this, is I'm going to focus on my diet. So there's a specific eczema style diet that I'm going to start, and I'm going to share that in my next video. So look out for that. And I'll give you guys updates on how that's going. It's something that's always resonated with me deeply in terms of, you kind of just know, like maybe this, maybe that, but you never want to do these 3 things I'm going to talk about in my next video. So stay tuned for that. If you are on Dupixent or considering Dupixent, please drop a comment down below. Let me know. I also forgot to note is that I was taking a supplement of omega-3s for my eyes as well. And for the last week, I haven't been taking that. That could also be why I'm noticing more eye inflammation. I'm going to buy some more today, and I'll update you guys next time to let you know if I've noticed a difference. But there's a myriad of things that you need to do when you have eczema. It's not just like, okay, I'm just taking Dupixent. No, it's like, what's your skincare? It's, how much water are you drinking? It's, what are you eating? Like, I'm here eating cherries. Like, there's so many different things. And yeah, eczema is a full-time job. I can't believe it's been like almost 3 months of me being on this. It's crazy.